Okay, so for puzzle skip, these are the main things that you want to try to focus on. So first, you want to do some uppercuts over to the platform, which you're gonna be doing puzzle skip on this platform. And I recommend doing uppercuts because it will help you get the height, like a nice height that will make it easier to come down and do the timing for the ground pound. So definitely come in with some uppercuts up to the platform, and you get some nice height like that. And then what you're gonna do is do a ground pound and spin. And you want to time your ground pound spin, like right when you see Jack's hands hit the ground or hit the surface. That's when you want to hit circle. If you mess up, you can see that it'll be like delayed like that, and you get like a higher spin. So you want to do it right when you see it into the ground. But here's a little tip that helps me personally. If you notice, if it feels like you're doing the right timing, right, and it's still not working, a way that makes it a lot easier to get it more consistent for me personally is when you ground pound, you see Jack's hands hit the surface, you want to hit circle twice as quickly as you can. But I noticed that it's much easier to execute if you do it when you come in from the uppercut. So definitely practice the full thing in full motion. So come in like this and down. Because like if you mess up, you can do it again from here. But most of the time, you want to try to get it right. Like there's a lot of leeway room, so it doesn't have to be perfect all the time. But you want to definitely try to practice and get that timing down. Because you don't want to have it be too late. Like if you're really high up like this doing your circle or your spin, it's probably not going to work too much. But as you can see, doing that shakes the platform. And then you want to do your uppercut. You want to do L1X and do your uppercut in through the wall. And usually where I try to aim for is kind of like in this area here. But I've seen people be able to successfully do it from over here as well as a little bit over here. So just try to aim for that general area around here and you should be good. Yeah, and the positioning on this platform can be kind of interesting to analyze. So for instance, you can do the ground pound in different positions. You can do it from the middle of the platform. You can do it in the corner here. I like to do it like kind of in the middle of those two places, so kind of like right there. Some people even do it from over here, in the back a little bit. But yeah, just experiment with where you want to do it from. They're all going to feel different. So usually if I'm too close like that, like I think as you just saw, I won't make it. So like I usually try to do it from here, but everyone's different. So your muscle memory is going to build a little bit differently. So as you can see, I usually do it better from there. So everyone has a different spot, so definitely experiment with your spots. So once you get past that point, the next tip is how to time your quick swims. So basically, if I come over here to some water, you can, swim really quickly in this game. So you just push forward on the L stick, kind of at this kind of timing. So when you get behind the wall, sometimes the camera will kind of glitch out and pull out away from you, so you can't really see where you're swimming. So you want to swim and stick to the left. Don't go too far left when you're swimming, because then you're going to glitch back through the wall. You don't want to go too far to the right, because then you fall through the world. So you want to make sure you kind of stay left, but not too far left or right. And you want to do like 4 pushes or strokes, fast, quick swim pushes. So just go like 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can even practice it here just to get the feel for it. So like normally you can just swim like this and just hold it forward. So you just want to like push it all the way forward, but just go like really quickly 4 times. And definitely keep track to make sure you're doing the quick swim 4 times. And if you do it 4 times like that, you should be close. You should be close enough to, let me just come out here so you can see it, because you're going to be swimming along these lines here, like along this water here. So that's why you can't go too far to the left because you're glitched back through the wall, and you can't go too far to the right because you fall. You want to be swimming right along here. And then you can do 4 quick swim strokes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can do a jump. You should be close enough at that point to do either a double jump into the wall towards the cell, or a double jump spin. But usually by the time you start jumping, the camera, if it did mess up for you, because sometimes the camera will be like this while you're trying to do it, you're trying to swim, so that's why you kind of want to time it. But either way, you should be able to do a double jump or a double jump spin, and you should be able to come through the wall. And then what I try to do is I spin to try and get the cell as quickly as I can. Sometimes I miss it, but you want to just try to go and spin once you get through here, and you should be able to jump and spin. Maybe that would probably help because you see this platform's a little bit higher in here, and you should be able to grab the cell. And that's puzzle skip. So let's try to walk through it really quickly. Okay, so it'll look a little bit. It should look a little bit like this. Oh, so we messed up our strokes, so we had to do a double jump spin. Because you can feel if your strokes aren't full quick swim strokes, you definitely want to be looking for how, like, you're going to feel for it, especially if you practice over here and do your strokes. But if you do 4 full strokes, you should be close enough as long as you're going in the right place. 1. Kind of like that. And you should be able to feel comfortable with that, because if the camera does mess with you, kind of like what it did there, as long as you make sure you're going more to the left, you should be able to do it. And if you notice, if I come over here, you have some time to adjust where you jump from. You don't have to go right away. That's why that example was kind of a really good one, because you can do your ground pound spin and then have some time to readjust yourself. You don't want to do it too late though, but you do have some time afterwards to kind of readjust your position. But you definitely got to change how you swim depending on if you do full strokes or not. So if you notice that you did like a half stroke, then try to make up for it. But you also want to make sure you go quickly, which is why having that timing can be really helpful. So if you're a little bit far behind, you can do a spin. But if you... It also has a lot to do with where you're clipping through. So if you're clipping up on this, if you're clipping more to the right... You pull the camera out. It can be hard to see. If you're clipping more like on that end, it's going to take you a bit longer, so you have to really imagine your strokes. But if you practice this enough, you're kind of get a feel for like where you are, even if the camera doesn't follow you in there. I hope you can hear the amount of strokes that's going on. If I get like a half stroke, I might have to do a little bit more, but it's usually 1, 2, 3, 4, double jump. So you can do a double jump like this over here, but I definitely recommend just doing uppercuts. It feels a lot more fluid. See, that was perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they're all full strokes. So yeah, definitely experiment with it. If you don't feel comfortable with it, you can also learn the backup if you want to do like the actual puzzle. But I definitely recommend you just practice this, get comfortable with it. You can see when you mess up too, and you can just start again and just go for it. And like that. So just make sure you're swimming to the left. You're doing like 4 full strokes, and you should be good.